Mr. Deputy Speaker, in his speech to announce the merger of Spring and IE Singapore in September last year, Minister Iswaran mentioned that while the government have been urging companies and industry to transform themselves, government agencies too must be prepared to adapt and restructure with the changing landscape. This is so true both in substance and in the spirit of it. We need to restructure to stay relevant and to up the game, and this applies to all stakeholders. Indeed, we have recently seen notable restructuring efforts in the government space, such as the merger of IDA and MDA to form the IMDA, and the consolidation of HDB industrial properties into JTCs, among others. With enterprise capability building and internationalization as among the two key thrusts in the current phase of transformation, the merger of Spring and IE Singapore is the next logical move. The merger signals to businesses that we need to look beyond our small and near-saturated domestic market to seek new growth frontiers overseas so as to sustain economic growth and job creations. Otherwise, we run the risk of a stagnant economy and may even decline as regional competitors step up and eat our lunches. As small companies trade, service, and venture overseas, it does not make good sense to have more than one agency serving the same enterprise, where the overlapping coverage can actually add more administrative work for companies, and it is also a case of suboptimal utilization of resources. Internationalization requires capabilities building, and both are actually inseparable and intertwined when companies expand into overseas markets. Hence, the need for an integrated and a more life cycle approach to help companies grow and build capabilities, developing competitive advantages that can help them sell products and services to the consumer of the world. Over the years, Spring and IE Singapore have done a good job helping businesses, each engaging and assisting tens of thousands of enterprises per year. In my interactions with businesses, I do hear good feedback and accolades from companies on the work done by Spring and IE Singapore. On the other hand, I have also heard comments from businesses that they would prefer to deal with one single agency, one point of contact for government-related support. So we are all buying to the merger. So how can the new Enterprise Singapore ESG do a better job helping businesses to grow? The merger presents a timely opportunity to fundamentally restructure the merged organizations and reconfigure its functionalities to meet both present and future needs. Presently, Spring, with its multiple SME centers, and IE Singapore, with its overseas Singapore centers in major cities, have been a very useful first stop or touch point for businesses seeking help. Coupled with its sectoral coverage, they have been able to maximize its outreach, especially to the SME. I hope that the locations and sectoral coverage will continue under the new step board and grow further as many companies continue to need assistance and support in this next phase where we deepen restructuring. Soon after the merger was announced last year, a concerned business executive asked me whether the post-merger will there be rationalization and reduction of total headcount for the combined entity. My answer to him was that I hope not. Of course, we should seek efficiency and streamline any duplications and unnecessary workflows, but I believe the motivation and purpose of the merger is not about reducing headcount and cut costs, but rather to be more effective in assisting companies by way of harnessing the combined and now more integrated resources of the two entities. In his answers to my PQ in September last year on the impact of the merger, Minister Iswaran also assured the House that ESG will continue to support our enterprises regardless of their size or stage of growth. With more extensive use of technology and various platforms, including through the TACs and IHLs, ESG should aim to further expand its outreach to businesses, including reaching out to the newer SMEs and the micro-enterprises. The new step board should also continue its work to simplify ways for businesses to tap on the various support schemes, such as using platforms like the Business Grant Portal. There should also be in parallel regular closing of loops on the utilized schemes to ascertain its effectiveness. Mr. Deputy Speaker, besides the role of outreach and administering of schemes which are important functions, ESG must also see building strong clusters of competitive enterprise as their key mission. Unlike attracting MNCs, which brings along their capabilities and cutting-edge technologies when they invest in Singapore, developing local capabilities of home-bred companies can be a very formidable task. The ITMs, which tap on the collective expertise and resources of the ecosystem partners to build capabilities, is the way to go. But in reality, we also know that the ITMs are essentially driven by one of the key economic agencies, such as ESG, going forward, which are like the workhorse facilitating the transformations. Therefore, it is critical to the success of ITMs that economic agencies like ESG have the deep industry knowledge, a good ground sense of the prevailing competitive landscapes, good knowledge of the sectoral strengths and gaps, as well as enough business acumen to design meaningful policies and schemes to incentivize and help capability build up. All these are tall order to expect from a government agency staffed by career public service officers. Fortunately for Singapore, economic development has always been our foremost priority. Our system of government and its policies have always been pro-business and pro-growth, and officers are frequently rotated to economic-oriented ministries and state boards to gain exposures and experience in economic development. Nevertheless, to diversify its bench strength and to add to its organizational versatility, ESG should also look to continually recruit and induct officers from the private sectors with relevant industry and international business experiences. One functionality that the new Enterprise Singapore can step up is in the area of helping SME build their brands and promotion overseas. Some SME may be too caught up in developing their product capabilities and may not have the resources or sufficient know-how to more effectively sell and brand their products in overseas markets. As companies seek opportunities beyond the traditional developed markets to newer emerging markets with unfamiliar business environment, the availability of shared brand building and marketing expertise of specific external market will be of good help to SME and to speed up market penetrations. I suggest that the new State Board have a dedicated unit to assist companies in their brand building and product promotion in overseas market, especially in ASEAN and South Asia markets. In my interactions with businesses, most recently with the contract manufacturer sector, finance-related issues continue to affect SMEs. In last year's DP Information Group SME Development Survey, more than a third of SMEs surveyed also cited finance-related issues as their immediate business challenge. This has more than doubled compared to the survey done in 2014, most of which relates to delay in payments from customers, although high interest rate for bank loans and tighter suppliers' credit are also cited among the business issues faced. I know that there are various useful SME financing schemes available to assist enterprise to finance their businesses. From the survey, I believe the other help that SME needs is to improve their financial management capabilities, such as cash management and credit management for both their customers and suppliers. As more businesses internationalize, such cash and credit management become more complex when they are cross-border. It requires deeper understanding of the in-country business practices and its legal framework, which will help SMEs shorten the learning curve and minimize the chances of them paying the tuition fee in unfamiliar territories. Here, ESG and the TAC can help pool and share experiences from businesses who are already overseas and learn from each other's practices and experiences. Also from the survey, it is encouraging to note that more SMEs are making fresh investments in technology and innovation. And importantly, more are also getting revenue gains from their technology investments. Increasingly, data technology is seen as another critical enabler for business successes. For smaller enterprises to build their own data mining and analytical capabilities may not be economical. ESG can also help in this regard. For example, as a source of data aggregator on industries, trends, and insights, and harnessing on information already collected by other government agencies. Specialized functionality within the new State Board can be set up to extract and manage data and distilling them into sufficient sectoral granularity that will be of help and usefulness to various business sectors. We could start with the building up of deep data resource for sectors of the 23 ITMs that are already launched. Finally, as an organization gets bigger, we should avoid the pitfalls of it becoming too hierarchical and less responsive. In an increasingly fast-changing business landscape, the enlarged organizations will need to gear up its quick responsibility to keep up with changing business needs, in addition to developing its breadth and depth. The new operating framework would also require sufficient empowerment to officers at the various levels to carry out their mission of transforming the economy. Not easy by any means, but we have high confidence in the new chairman designate, Mr. Peter Ong, and the new CEO designate, Mr. Peng Chong Boon. On the related amendment, I support Clause 68B, which transfers the functions relating to the administration of the Consumer Protection Fair Trading Act to the renamed Competition and Consumer Commission, CCC. I believe this would sharpen the focus and add more teeth in enforcing fair trading and hence better protect consumer, an area we clearly need to do more. So with that, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I support the bill.